love. Wanna talk about it. The rhythm of love. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Love Rhythm Recipe. I'm Casey. I am your host. I am your master chef. I am your navigator through this thing we call food and love. How's everybody doing this evening? I see some familiar faces and family. I have Pam and I have Miss Huckabee in the Cosmic King. Oh, yes, I do. And to everyone else that's out there that hasn't revealed themselves in the chat, hey, happy Saturday evening. We're going to get down into some really deep situations as usual, but we're going to be cooking something really delicious today. Going to be tender and succulent and savory. We're going to do us some pepper steak, okay? But not just any pepper steak. It's going to be taken up to a level that you might not be used to, but you definitely want to try. And our topic for tonight in that thing we call relationships is going to be broken relationships, okay? When neither one of you or your partner wants to be the first to bounce. Okay, so let's dig in. So I'm gonna tell you like this. You want to say, how in the world does pepper steak and this topic correlate? You know, I always find a correlation. So let me just put my eyes on, check my notes. Okay, so here's the real breakdown. Okay, both are served hot and both have to be reliable. This is a hot topic. So if you cook something way too long, okay, you let your steak cook too long, it's going to turn into what? Leather. Okay, that's exactly how it feels holding on to a relationship past its expiration date. It's going to be tough, dry, and hard to swallow. Hard pill to swallow. Okay, that steak looks good, but it tastes meh. So just like a pepper steak, that's all spice and zero flavor. Okay, some relationships look the bomb on the outside, but have zero substance behind closed doors. Okay, steak. You want to chew that steak forever, hoping that it gets better, especially when it gets something. I don't, because let me tell you, I'm going to take a few chews. If it's hard, I don't know if I want to keep it, but it depends on how much you pay for it. Steaks are so expensive. Anywho, so you just keep chewing long and longer, thinking it'll get more tender. You know, staying stuck in a relationship, hoping things will change without actually having discussions or doing things to trying to fix it. You know, the problem is pretty much hopeless. Okay, and when the recipe is it just ain't recipeing, as they say. The recipe just ain't there. I don't care what you do and you put on that steak. It can either be too bland, overly seasoned, maybe overly cooked or under. Listen, you know you added too much pep. You know what? I have to tell y'all this story. My younger sister, I'll never forget, when we lived in New York, she was very young, like maybe about 18 years old. And she thought she was going to cook dinner for us. We came home from work or whatever. She made some stewed beef. And boy, did she add a lot of pepper. I will never forget. That was stuff. I never knew pepper could make me feel so bad. It was a lot of pepper, but she tried. That just reminded me. But as I said, you need to start fresh. You can't salvage it if it got too much pepper in there or really too much salt. Once you over salt or over pepper something, you know, you just need to start from the beginning. Okay. And you can't act like it's okay. We can pretend like we like it, but I'm gonna just tell you like that. You need to have a big giant purse because you just want to scrape it in there so you don't hurt their feelings, but you're not trying to eat that. That's exactly like being afraid to admit that your relationship recipe isn't working, but just stick it out anyway. Simmered in misery too long. When the steak simmers forever, you lose all the good tenderness. So you really don't want to overcook your steak, okay? Letting a relationship and its problems stew without resolution just leaves bitterness and tension. And no one wants to cut the steak first, so to speak. So picture two forks hovering over the steak. Neither person wants to make the first move. That ain't me, because, honey, that steak look good. I'm cutting. You sit there and wait there if you want to. But anyway, it's just an awkward moment, just as awkward as two people waiting around, each scared to say, this ain't working for either one of them. Okay, so basically, there are parallels. Like I said, food has a parallel to everything. But like I said, a broken relationship, and the reason why I kind of broached this subject, I was listening to Gladys Knight. Okay, Gladys Knight has a song called Neither One of Us. Well, if you know the song, you know the song. If you don't know the song, you want to go listen, because it basically talks about a relationship that they know is over, but neither one of them want to be the first to say goodbye. Now, you want to say, why would somebody do that? Okay, why would you endure unhappiness or not being content or whatever the case may be? And the real talk is, people tend to stick around in relationships because it's like a Netflix fix. It's like Netflix is a rerun. Okay, you're familiar with it. You feel comfortable. It's predictable. You know what's going to happen, even if it's not something that is making you happy or bring you joy, or you're not feeling it anymore. It's about comfort zones. People, change is hard. It really is for a lot of people. And the unknown is hard. Sometimes, knowing the dynamics, or knowing the demon, or knowing, the bad thing is better than the unknown or what you might face. People, not only in romantic relationships, but in family dynamics, a lot of times, this is not right. This family is not functional, but this is your comfort zone. And then you, in turn, repeat the same process that you learned in your family dynamics, because there's a sense of comfort there. And if it's something different, even if that difference is something that is going to be beneficial to you and make you happy in the long run, the fear of the unknown and not feeling in control, even though what you were in, you really weren't in control. It's just what you're used to. With, the partnership and the relationships and things like that, romantically, you may look at financially. It's going to be different. You have fear of, not having enough money to support yourself, okay, or your family, so it's almost like financially you're being held hostage, okay? You want to look at the red flags. So I'm going to tell you like this, but before I do, I almost forgot about my lovely drink. Hey, y'all made me forget about my mocktail. How pretty is this? Isn't this lovely? It's going to go really good with that pepper steak. Speaking of which, pepper steak is not that hot. Hard. It is going to be hot, but not hot with spice, but hot with heat. Hey there, Lois. How are you? I guess are you still driving? What did you say? You can see my analysis of food and recipes, relationships in one of my books. Okay. I don't have one yet, but what are you, psychic? Or are you projecting that? Are you speaking this into existence, Lois? Is that what you're saying to me? Girl, let me tell you something. How many hours in a day you think I got? Okay. All things in time. I got to get this station doing something. I got all these things I'm juggling, but I have so much in my mind, What did you say? It's coming and you speaking it into existence. But see, the thing is, Lois, you and I will read the book, but the younger generation, they don't want to do what? Butterfly in the sky. They don't want to do that. Okay. So what I'm going to do, write a bunch of emojis and they get the point. I don't know. I am trying to tell you, but hey, definitely, I'm going to tell you some things you need to read, you need to know. Now, back to what I was saying about the red flags, okay, that we would pretend we don't see. When you're constantly arguing, you are talking and the talking feels pointless, zero intimacy, emotional coldness. Does that sound familiar? Those could be some red flags, okay? How do you really know when a relationship just isn't going through a phase and it is actually broken. Okay. Now that comfortability may be misery. Okay. You may be feeling miserable, but you're used to feeling that way. You don't know how it feels to be happy or to, really, if you think about it, what is it? How long has it been since you were happy? You don't know the difference. Sometimes just peace is enough. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're going back and forth like this. Did you ever hear anybody say, we're unhappy, but we're comfortable? Okay. Why would you settle for less than you deserve? So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to take another, this stuff. Okay, I drank it, right? And I did not have, beautiful assistant was the mixologist today because my mixologist is under the weather. So she came up with this, and this is really cute. So tell me a little bit about this here drink. What is it called?
Well, I called it the Strawberry Citrus Kiss. And the ingredients are actually a couple of fruit punch packets, a little bit of Splenda for sweetness. I squeezed 2 clementine oranges in it. And I put a little bit of strawberry syrup, like the kind you put on top of ice cream, in there, mixed it all together. And then I just put a little bit of grenadine in the bottom of the cup to kind of, add a little extra sweetness. And
okay.
Put fruit in there.
All right. This sounds like one of the Casey concoctions. Okay. Because I lost track. She put a lot of stuff in here, but whatever it is,
I will write a lovely
whatever this is, it's definitely not broken. It's delicious. Okay, so, well, since I have this beef stock here, that's going to be one of the ingredients of my pepper steak. I got a brand new wok, and I'm going to use that. Okay, girl, let me tell you something. You are the busiest woman ever. You are always gone. I think you and my sister are neck and neck. I will see you next week, my love. You have a wonderful time at dinner with your family. And yes, you need to try some of these mocktails that they're coming up with because a lot of them have a lot of antioxidants and the fruit and stuff will be good for you. Most definitely. Bye, Lo. Okay, so let me get up over here. Okay, I guess I'm going to get up over here. All right, so I am about to communicate to you some of the ingredients for this pepper steak. And like I said, I got a brand new wok. I've been breaking it in all week, so yeah, it's been good. It's been so good to me. Yes, it has. So let me get over here and show you what the ingredients are. All righty. So first of all, there is no pepper steak without the what? The peppers. So I have some wonderful white, and have you guys noticed I haven't used so much red lately? I bought a bunch of white onions. They're very expensive, so I've been using them. When they all gone, I'll get back to the red. Don't worry. But nice white onions sliced up. I have some beautiful red bell pepper and some green bell pepper. Okay. Then, of course, I have all of my herbs over here, and I have my basil. I have my parsley. I have cilantro, and I have Italian herbs. You don't have to do all this, okay? But that's what I want to do. Okay, so I have some onion powder. I have some lovely sweet paprika. I have my celery flakes. I have some garlic powder, and I will probably only use this if I can't squeeze the last little bit of my minced garlic in it. Otherwise, yeah, we'll do this. And I have my salt-free Sazon in my shaker, some black pepper. Of course, I got the blessings over here. You do not have to have this. You can use whatever all-purpose seasoning you have handy. And I'm going to put a little bit of this stuff in here. Now, you want to know what this is? This is called ghee. Okay, what is ghee? Okay, let me turn this around. Ghee is clarified butter. And clarified butter is when you melt it and you scoop the fat part off, and this is what you get. And it's very good for flavoring and cooking and stuff like that. So I will be adding a little bit of ghee. You can simply melt some butter, skim the fat off of it, and there you have clarified butter. It's not that deep. But they had it. I wanted to try it. It was on sale, and you know me, I can't pass up a sale. So I also have a little bit of flour and I have some heavy whipping cream because that's going to thicken up my lovely sauce. And I have a little bit of gravy master in case I need it. It's so little I probably won't even need it, but you never know. And I have some low sodium Kikkoman teriyaki sauce. I am going to be using some of my coveted avocado oil in this stir fry. And because you don't have to use so much oil, that's why I'm using this. This stuff is way expensive. And I also found some cooking spray that I'm going to start with. I hope I got the right one here because one of them I bought day before yesterday, and it didn't have this on it. So I got one in there that didn't have that, but I'll use this when I get it. So, yeah, exactly. But avocado spray. So I'm going to do that. And I probably won't even need it because, like I said, my wok has been seasoned. I've used it pretty much this whole week. I don't think anything's going to stick, but you know me. So let me get this beef broth over here. And let me get my avocado oil over there. And to accompany this, and this is just extra, this is not part of the advertisement, but can't just give them some meat. I am going to make some loaded mashed potatoes to go with this because we had a lot of rice lately. Okay. I will be eating the meat. I will not be eating the taters because I'm trying to be good. Now let me show you the meat. Okay, so, ow. Huh? No, these doggone nails. Anyway, so you see this meat right here. So this is probably going to be like 4 pounds. Probably 4 pounds. This was, and what I found, usually people will use sirloin or some other meat to make a pepper steak. I like ribeye. So they had these little thin ribeyes at my local Wegmans. And I had Buell Assistant cut them up into strips, and we put a little meat to here to put a little dry brine on here. It's been sitting in the fridge, about 3 hours? It's been sitting there in there. So this is going to be oh so tender. And I like the ribeye because it has enough marbling and fat. It is very moist. It's just pretty delicious. It really is. I enjoyed it thoroughly. You don't have to get this. You can get whatever kind of cut of steak you want. You put the meat tenderizer on, and if the steak is going to be tough, if it's a more tough cut, just let it sit in there a little longer because it's going to break down the fibers and give you that dynamic that you want. So I'm going to stick this back in the fridge because I'm going to take another little sip, and I'm going to go over here and check out my pot, and we're going to finish talking a little bit about this subject because it is interesting. You know, like I said, you have to know the song. I don't want to have to sing this song or sing one. My sister's like, oh, sing the song. Sing. Nah. It ain't that kind of party. I want y'all to go listen to Gladys Knight, Neither One of Us. Then you'll understand where all of this is coming from. But anyway, let me put this back in here, and I'll take it back out when we're ready. All right. So I'm going to take a little drinky pill, and you do the same. All right. Oh, honey, y'all missed it this morning. Deborah Huckabee, did you miss? Let me tell you what you missed. You missed the most delicious fish po' boy. I know you don't like shellfish. I think you do like regular fish. I used some tilapia. And it was fried to perfection. And I made a beautiful, what do you call it? Remoulade sauce. It was really, really good. They really enjoyed it. I was surprised. It was a good time. So that was the last of our kind of takeout series. I took it all the way down to New Orleans, and I know they sell that on the street. And a lot of their restaurants, it's a big thing. I'm not singing the song Pamela. No. These are cute, but boy, are they getting away. So let's put these over here. Oh, I already eaten it. It's so refreshing. It is so refreshing. It really is. So, anywho, I know my husband's like saying, and anywho, because she always says that anywho stuff. Well, anywho, how about that? All right. So what I was saying is, you want to wonder why people are so afraid of being the first to say that, this ain't hitting on much anymore. Maybe it's time to, part. I think a lot of times people don't want to be labeled the bad guy in a relationship, so, oh, okay, you left them or you did this or you, whatever the case may be. People don't know all the reasons why, it doesn't have to be that you're really hating on that person or whatever. Sometimes you outgrew each other. You don't really know. The only people know that dynamic is you and that other person for real, for real. People can speculate. You can go and tell somebody something, and it's always going to be from your perspective. It's never going to be a situation where, why would you deny me? Listen, you know what? This is not a radio show, sister. Let's get back to business. Okay, so like I said, you don't know why people separate. The same reason why you don't really know why they come together. Unless you're talking to both of the people at the same time. And even if you got them in the same room, they're going to have their perspective of the dynamic. Okay, so, the damage is done a lot when you're staying in that stuck position. So even more damage. So, real talk about how being in a stagnant relationship affects your mental health and your energies level. Get these words out, energy level, even your physical health. It can weigh on you emotionally, physically, mentally, to be in an environment or a place that is not conducive to your well-being or happiness. And a lot of times, because you don't know what happy feels like, or it's been so long since you felt it, you don't even know you're damaging yourself. And then you start having all these different ailments, or you eat too much, or you drink too much, or you smoke too much, or you just do everything too much, trying to mask the emptiness you feel, or the pain, or the whatever the case may be. So you got to ask yourself, how long is too long to let yourself sit in an emotional limbo? It is so hard to separate, like I said, the head from the heart. Sometimes I often say to myself, or talk to God, and I say, we are your children. I know, just like with my kids, I don't want to see them hurt. I know that He does not want to see us hurt. And sometimes you say to yourself, my goodness, why so much pain? But then you got to look at it like this. Free will, baby. You freely entered this dynamic, and you're going to have to freely free yourself in order to make it feel better. And it's going to have to be a painful first, unless the two people come together and try to fix it. You cannot fix a broken wing with one wing that's not working. See, it takes two wings to fly. So if one of my wings are broken, I ain't functional. And if someone doesn't come along to help mend that wing, I ain't flying. So communication breakdown, that's the thing. Why saying it's over feels almost impossible to do. Why it's easier to ghost or avoid or keep quiet rather than have that awkward talk about, we need to dead this. Okay. So, tips for starting uncomfortable conversations without blame, shade, or unnecessary drama. That's a hard one. Because a lot of times, by the time you get to this point, there is some resentment, there's some animosity, there is some dread, there is fear of rejection. There are so many things. So really to be able to see, because if you really are adult about it in your relationship, irregardless of what goes on and what doesn't go on, you still are supposed to have an ability to communicate because you're grown-ups. But when you shut down, when one of you shuts down and the other one shuts down, or one person shuts down and the other one feels apprehensive to approach that person, even if it is to relieve the situation, to pop that pimple and let the pus out, you just kind of like go into your perspective corners and you just kind of like, okay, as I call it, the ostrich syndrome. And you just kind of bury your head and hope when I come up for air, I can actually breathe and it's not any tear gas out there. So communication is always going to be key. I don't care if you're a couple, if you're not, if that's going to be the last thing you say. It's hard not for it to be drama because at the end of the day, when you've invested so much of yourself in a relationship, you feel a lot of things. You can feel like a failure because this was supposed to be forever, ever, forever, ever. And a lot of times you go into. I would hope that you will go into any relationship with the thought pattern that this is going to be something that is lasting. I will hope that you will go into a relationship with caution and not just rush right in, so you can really think about those things. I will hope that you will go into a relationship and you will be intentional and not just roll on the dynamics or a vibe on the dynamic of, ooh, this person really does it for me, physically, but you just got to take your time and be intentional. And you never really know, and people change. And if you don't continually touch bases and check in and do those things, someone will change before your eyes. And you're like, who is that? Who is that? So I'm going to tell you what I've learned, and, just throughout everything. I think if you don't have anything else, because a lot of things can fade in relationships, okay? Physical intimacy, somebody could get sick. Somebody could, whatever case may be, that shouldn't be all that's holding your relationship together. If that is all that's holding your relationship together, you're doomed from the start, because nothing is promised to us, okay? But if you can't continue to communicate in some kind of way, it's just, like I said, you can be right there in front of that person. But if they're not hearing you, they're not feeling you, there's no empathy, there's no nothing, and everything is just, so God awful. For me, it's just like, I don't want you to feel that. Okay. I don't want myself to get to the point to feel that, or to feel nothing, but it's just very, very difficult. So, should you stay or should you go? So let's keep it real. Weigh in your reasons for staying versus going, freedom, and the possibility of what will happen if you walk away. So it's like, should I, or shouldn't I? Or is or is I don't, or what won't, or whatever. I can't tell you there's going to be some guarantees in life, because it's not. But when you are going to know when enough is enough. And enough may be enough for you to try to fix it. Enough may be enough for you to just let it go. What movie is that? Let it go, let it go. Huh? Yeah, okay, now I'm channeling kid shows, Frozen. Okay, so, when you're ready, you don't make excuses. You can think about, sometimes you're waiting around for that old person that you knew to come back. Sometimes, you know what? That person never really existed. Sometimes you made that person up in your mind, or that person has, what they call it, they perpetrated a fraud long enough, and now the real person comes out because they feel relaxed enough that they got you, okay? But they don't realize they got to keep you, okay? And maybe it's not that deep for them, but they're comfortable. Hey, ain't nobody telling me to do nothing. I'm just, I got this like this, and I got this, so a lot of times emotions in a relationship are lopsided. Somebody is more invested in a relationship than the other. So who's going to take the first step? I'm going to take the first drink, and I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to get this party started. How about that? So that is so good. Let me see. Get the top off here. And let me check out my wok situations. Okay, so this is my cute little wok. $33. Lovely. I wanted to go for something that was more authentic because I was channeling my inner Asian cooking person. Hey, I wasn't trying to spend $100 on a wok that didn't look like a wok. It just looked like a skillet to me. So I tried this. So what I'm going to do, let me get this over here. Please turn it around. And I'm going to get my meat out. Now, but what I also am going to do, because this is the key, I'm going to take my meat, and when it's done, almost done, I'm going to separate, because everything's going to be done separately, then you put it back together. I am going to make a little sauce that I'm going to pour over it, because I'm doing it in a wok. You know, normally, you know, if you're doing a regular skillet, you just kind of pour it over and, you know, it makes a sauce and you make your little roux. But because I'm doing it like this in this nice little wok, let's see what I got going on here. Let me see. Let me see. I'm going to make a nice little sauce. Let's see. All right, let's go over here and I'm going to see if I have any of this minced garlic left. Yeah, I got a little bit. So we can do just a teeny weeny. Okay. So I'm going to put this in here like this. And let's see what I'll do to make my sauce. So I am going to take some teriyaki sauce. Oh, let me turn this over here so y'all can see what I'm doing. How about that? All right. And get this over here. I'm going to kind of put that right there. And take a little drink. Mm-hmm. I can't stay away from this stuff. It is so refreshing. It's spring, and I'm getting ready for, we're going to do some tropical stuff in the summertime. Trust me, y'all going to love it. All right, let me go over here. Something I do want to use, that I did use the other day, which I really liked, is, where is it at? Do I have any? Okay, so let me show y'all something. I said I'm trying to be nice and do the right thing. So, and I said I wasn't gonna go Asian, but I'm just so inspired. So I'm gonna take my sesame oil out. Yes, I am. All right, you don't have to do this, but you see this stuff right here. You know I do all things Splenda. I am trying to eat right again, you know, and you know I go through these things, but I told you 80-20. Okay, so I did my 20. A lot. And so I'm good. But anyway, I've been eating these stir fries. So a lot of them call for honey. And so this stuff right here, Splenda makes I guess it's like a multi-use simple syrup. You can put it on your oatmeal. It's not maple flavor. It's almost like a fakened honey with zero everything in it. But it works the same way if you want to put honey in your sauces or whatever. Then I have my Heinz tomato ketchup, no sugar added. So that means there's no added sugar. The carbs are very low in here. Well, you only have the natural carbs that you're going to have from a tomato. So we're going to put a little bit of that in here to start our sauce, okay? And then we're going to build it. And so I'm going to show you how you work a pepper steak in a wok. It's not going to be all the way Asian. It's going to be Casey Asian. Cajun. How about that? Cajun? Oh, it's not going to be Cajun. It's going to be K-Asian. Okay, Casey Asian, whatever. Okay. My spin on it. So, Cajun. Okay, this is what they say. So I'm going to take a half a cup of this ketchup here, and then I'm going to take a tablespoonful of, and I'm about to do bad things, y'all. I forgot it's a flip top. I almost pulled this off, and we would have had some sugary stuff. Okay, so I'm going to do a tablespoon of my faking syrup. You can use honey if you want. But why? Because it tastes so darn good, and you don't have to feel guilty. You don't. I'm telling you. So then I'm going to try to get the last little bit of my, see, I should have got some of this today, and I forgot when I went grocery shopping yesterday, I forgot that I was on my last leg with this, because usually I'm not on my last leg with this because I really rarely use fresh garlic, but I've become so attached to this now because it's not so strong and pungent. Okay, so let me put that in here. I'm going to use the last of this, and this should make this to probably about a teaspoon and a half. I'm trying to just use the last of it. of this garlic. So try to get it out of here. Okay. All right, that's good. Yeah, so that way I don't have to use the garlic powder if I don't want to. And okay, y'all just gonna make me go all the way. I'm getting ginger out too.
Oh boy. All right, she said I'm going full-fledged.
Yes, but it's going to be a mixture. Okay, so I have my ginger. I'm going to do a half a teaspoonful of some ginger. And like I said, this is optional. This is going to be the pepper steak concoction of life. How about that? So, put that back. All right, so I'm going to take a teaspoonful of this teriyaki marinade. Put it in there. And I like this because it's kind of thick. So we put that in there, teaspoonful. That looks lovely. It's so beautiful. Okay. And, you know, I'm going to hit it with my blessings. And I'm just going to put much as I want in here because I can. Okay. So this will be probably about a tablespoon of blessings. Or, what do you guys think about this? I'm going to ask y'all because y'all my friends. I have so many things going on, and the blessings is going to have to be a separate entity. I thought I could put it all together in one packaging bowl, but I got so much stuff going on, child. I'm going to have to separate this, separate that. Anywho, so what do you think about, I'm going to have to change the name of the blessings. Yes, I am, before I put it out there. And since we're always talking about OCD and what did you call that? Obviously Clean Diva. Okay. How do you like Clean Diva spices? What do you think? Clean with a K. Kean Diva spices. And then I have to look like a diva on the package. How about that? Y'all let that roll around in your head. Tell me what you think. All right. So I put the blessings in. I'm going to take some of these celery flakes and I'm going to crumble them. So probably a half a teaspoonful of the celery flakes in here and crumble it up. And remember, the big pieces you want to avoid, even though this is going to cook. You know what I forgot to do, y'all? I forgot to take this ring off my finger. Because I just realized that when I put the celery in my hand. And since I'm over here, guess what I'm going to do?
Drink some drink.
Delicious.
Kiss.
Yes, delicious. Okay, so let me get that over here. Put this over here. I'm going to hit it with a half a teaspoonful or 2 or 3/4 shakes of the salt-free Sazon. I'm going to do half a teaspoon of this sweet paprika. I'm going to do a teaspoonful of onion powder. Yes, I am. Okay, close that back up. Now, it's gonna get real freaky, y'all. I'm gonna drizzle a little bit of sesame oil in here, just a drizzle. A drizzle means you go in a Z, just like that, because this has that little shaker top with the little hole, so it's not gonna have a lot coming out. Okay, come on, put the top back on. Be nice. Okay, got that. I am going to get this off of my counter. I am going to take my herbs. And see, this is why I say it's all about me and what I want to put in here and what my mom says is going to taste good. So you know about my pinches, y'all. I'm going to get a pinch. That's between your forefinger and your thumb. Basil. Close that up. Boy, this is fragrant. I'm loving it. And then I'm going to get a pinch of some, well, all I got left in here is a pinch. So let me just pour that in there. Okay. And then I'm going to take a pinch of, because cilantro just is doing my body good. Yes, it is. And I'm going to tell you, it's a difference. Like I said, if you were using the dry cilantro, it's a difference. The fragrance, it's real, wow, that's nice. Ooh, I like that smell. Okay, put a pinch of that in there. That's a nice smell. I never really took a real whiff of it, but yeah, I'm feeling that. Yes, I am. I don't want to say goodbye to you. I need you. Okay, so then I'm going to take my Italian herbs, which I got like 2 pinches in there, but I'm going to put that one there. I'm going to take that, put that over here. Okay, let me close that back up. And put this over here. And this is smelling mighty nice, y'all. It's smelling good. It's smelling good. I have to give it to you. I don't even know if I'm gonna have to use this. I may use a little bit, you know, when I do my little thickening agent. I may not have to thicken it. You never know. Okay, and what am I looking for? I am looking for my Splenda. Where is it?
Oh, it might be in the other side from making a drink.
Oh, okay. I'll be right back because she moved my Splenda.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to put 2 squirts of that in here. 1, 2, 3. I lied. Okay. So now I'm going to stir this puppy up. So I had set my sauce to the side. Okay. So let's see what we got here. All right. So I'm going to stir this up. And this little sauce is going to be all nice. Just like that. That looks real good. Just a little bit. Y'all want a little spice in this or no?
A little.
Okay, they say they want a little spice, so I'm going to hit them up with a little bit of cayenne. Okay, a little bit. So that is like a quarter, not even a quarter teaspoonful. Whatever is a half of a quarter teaspoon. I say a sprinkle. An eighth. Okay, so she knows math. So we're going to do the eighth. And this is what it looks like, y'all. Okay, so right now you have the perfect low-carb sauce for your steak, if you want. Okay? And you just put this over here. And this wasn't intentional, but you know what? I got to eat this too. So, you know, I got to think about me. Me. So I put this to the side and let's leave this over here. I'm going to get my veggies over here. Okay, I'm going to get them open and set them over here so they can be ready. They can be ready to rock and roll. I'm going to get this here out my way, put that over there. This is going to go here. I'm going to take my little bit of flour. Now, this flour is the keto flour, too, that I told y'all, only 4 grams of carbs. It's going to work really well because I'm going to mix a little of that with my heavy whipping cream, which, how many carbs is that? Less than 1, so that's like none. Okay, put that there. This is getting healthy by the minute, y'all. So now I'm going to get my avocado oil because that's healthy for you too. It need to be, it costs enough. Okay, I'm going to get that. Let me get the meat out. Okay, one moment. So, meat is out. And I had a few of those green onions left from this morning. And I think I'm going to take them and I'm going to just toss them over into the sauce. How about that? Just a little bit, probably about a teaspoonful that I had left because we will leave no food uncooked. That's how that works. So let's get that all up in here. Just more flavor for you to love. Just more flavor. So I'm going to keep these in here just like this. I'm going to put some seasoning in my bag. I've done this before, so I don't have to lay it out. You do want to season your meat. You don't need to put salt on here unless you just want to do that because the ADOS meat tenderizer, which I don't know if I showed you guys that, right here, you put that on it, you let it sit, and it's going to break down the fibers of your meat and make it tender. I'm going to start with a little bit of this onion powder in here because we season in layers, guys. So you're going to do a teaspoonful of this. I'm going to get my Casey's blessing. I'm going to make it rain. You do you. Okay, and that. Let me get this back on here. Or my Clean Diva spice that is going to be. I'm thinking that's growing on me. I'm liking it. And I'm going to get some black pepper. And that's what I did not put in my sauce, some black pepper. So I'm going to get a little black pepper in here and we will mix it up. I am going to take, what I'm going to do? The garlic. Okay, put a little bit of, now see, this is where the garlic powder come in handy. Because guess what? First of all, I'm going to sneeze. Because that pepper went all up my nose. I was trying to front and hold it. I can't. Excuse me, y'all. Okay, so the garlic powder came in handy because why? Because I'm all out of the fresh garlic. I'm going to put some paprika in this because it just makes it look cute. And let's see what else I'll do. I think that's about it. Oh, a little bit of teriyaki sauce in here just to wet it up a little. Okay? And I'm close this up, and then we're going to massage this meat like it's nobody's business. Okay? We're going to communicate to this meat like we need to be communicating in our broken relationship so we can do it like Humpty Dumpty. It fell off the wall. We want to pick it up. And unlike all the king's horses and all the king's men, we're going to put this relationship back together again. How about that? We are going to communicate. Okay. We are not going to sing Gladys's. No, I'm not singing Gladys's. You need a little joy. Okay. You know what? That song won't bring you joy. Okay. That song right there may make you sad. Okay. So you don't want that one. That's not the one. Okay. That's not the one. Huh? Neither one of us wants to be the first to say goodbye. That's what prompted this whole show here. So let me get this, and I'm going to massage it, get it real nice there. Okay. So basically, how do you decide who's going to take the first step? The first step to mending or the first step to stepping off? How do you decide? Because then again, there's those dynamics. What will people think? How do I feel about this? I'm scared. Okay, can I handle life by myself? Man, there are so many dynamics. Sometimes you just got to do that Thelma and Louise. And if you haven't seen that movie, get in the car and just keep on driving. But I ain't going to drive off the cliff. Okay, so now I have this all put together. Like that. I'm going to bring it over here, and I'm going to put about a tablespoon of oil in the center of my wok. You don't want to do it too high, so I'm going to take it down to probably a 7. And I'm going to cook my meat first. Let me put a little bit of this oil. I'm going to let it get a little hot, a little warm, and then I'm going to put my oil in here. So we got to watch it because these things get pretty hot pretty fast. Because they're thin, but they do the job. And so I'm going to take this little drink. Isn't it cute? It matches me. See, look. Always got to match. What can I tell you? Got to match. All right. So, yeah, that's starting to heat up. Now, avocado oil it can withstand heat. Okay, so I'm going to put in about 2 tablespoons in here. Yes, about 2 tablespoons. I'm being very, very, very stingy with this oil because this here oil costs a lot of money. It does. But it's supposed to be good for you. So I look at it like this. This is one less burger, one less piece of cake, one less whatever. One less. See, there you got me. Bell to answer. That's the 5th dimension. Okay, so almost there. Where's it at? So I'm going to be using my fancy smancy utensils to go with this. Okay, I want it to get hot enough so I can get it just to going because I want it to get to cooking, but I don't want it to get smoking. So we're going to turn it down just a little because I really truly do not feel like turning this hood on. It just makes way too much noise for me. So I'm going to take all of this meat and I'm going to put it in here just like that. Okay. Bring that over here. And now what you do is start to separate your meat. Now, usually you will have meat that is not as heavy as this steak. So this is going to take some elbow grease, y'all. And I may have to put a little bit more oil in here, but this is a lot of meat. Beautiful assistant warned me, but you know what? I like the leftovers. So, yeah, I want to do all of it. So yes, I'm gonna put a little bit more oil in here because there's a lot of meat. It was all crunched up together. I didn't know it was this much meat, but it won't go to waste. I tell you that. I'll put some oil in here. The key to stir frying is to stir. So I put another 2 tablespoonfuls of my avocado oil in here. Okay, and I'm gonna just kind of separate it like this. And you just want to kind of flip it and stir. Man, this stuff is really dense. You probably could have cut this a little bit thinner. Oh, yeah. These are like, just, man. Let me turn this up some. I'm getting a muscle, y'all.
Yeah, work them arms.
Nah, I ain't trying to work them. I'm getting pain.
Oh.
Okay, so you want to flip it. And I'm just going to kind of sit there. Okay, who has the audacity to be ringing? Ringing a phone in the middle of my life. Okay. I don't know what that is. That's the okay, that's my speaker, y'all. Well, this is cooking really slow, so I'm going to sit down and we're going to talk a little more. So, like I was saying, who says who's going to take the first step? You waiting around for your partner to make the call. They waiting around for you to make the call. Okay, how to recognize when it's your moment to step up and stop being passive aggressive, take the breath, and respectively say, we're done. Okay, I don't know. I ain't gonna lie. It depends on the person. It depends on the situation. It depends on how froggy you feeling at the moment. But when you do it, make sure you really doing it for real, for real. Don't be that person. One moment I'm leaving, the next moment you're staying. Be decisive. If you ain't ready to go for real, stop threatening. Okay, let me go over here and let's try this again. See, as it gets cooked and I can move it around, it's not so hard on my hand. Oh, this is heavy. This means note to self. Although I like this kind of meat, it got to be sliced really, really thin because this sucker is heavy. So I hope it be worth all the effort. Okay, but so you see, I'm using a metal spatula in a metal pan that's supposed to be non-stick, and it ain't hurt nobody. Okay, so I'm gonna turn it up another notch because it's a lot of meat, and so what it did is lowered the temperature of the skillet. So let me get this in the trash, and let's see. I think I'm gonna turn it on because it's starting to do this little smoking thing. But I'll just put it on the low. Okay, so I can pull some of this up. And I will stir and stir. But you want this to get brown, but not all the way. You want to cook this until it's almost done. Because remember, you got to cook your veggies too. You got to put it all together and let it kind of simmer. Like that. So, okay, just trying to get everything, let it turn over and kind of stir it around. It's a stir. That's exactly what it is, a stir fry. Okay, so let's get this over like that. Okay, and I'm going to do that too. Okay, and I'm just trying to make sure every little piece of this meat gets hit. I want it to get hit so it can brown. Okay. All right. Time to take another little drink.
Oh, we got some messages that came in. I just realized that there is 2 different menus for chat that I was not aware of. So, hold on, let me go back.
Okay, they can't hear you because this thing is going on.
Pam said no to Clean Diva spices.
Okay, but I'm gonna have to rename it something, so I can't keep it Casey's Blessings. That I can't do. So that's one of the contenders. Maybe you guys can come up with something, but it has to have a K in it. It has to be catchy and cute. And I will entertain your suggestions. Okay, but I figured the Clean Diva spices would be good because we talk about me and my obviously Clean Diva self. So we will see. Because, see, you just got used to the Casey's blessings. That's what it is. Okay. So let's see. Okay, it's getting there. And it's expelling some nice juices. Okay, we'll get that in here. You said there are 2 chats.
Yeah, there are 2 different like filters for chat. So they have top chat and then they have live chat. So top chat, I'm not sure what that includes, but I guess maybe those are like the people who frequently chat.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know, but then they have live chat. That shows.
Okay, the top chat is probably if you're doing like a super, you buy a super, one of those emojis, and you donate the emoji to me.
That's a super chat.
And you give me a little something because you like what I'm saying, or you want to give a tip or whatever, and some people just want to donate to the cause, then that's what the top chat is. Because
that's super chat. That's not top chat.
I think that's what it is.
No, top chat, because it had occupant one there, but I think it's certain messages get categorized. I didn't realize there was more than one.
Okay.
So the live chat includes all messages. And the top chat filters out certain ones.
Yeah, I wonder why it does that.
I don't know. And it was automatically on top chat, so I never knew until just now. Because Auntie Pam had called, that's who had called her.
Okay.
Because she's saying that I was missing one of her messages, and I was like, I didn't see it.
Okay, so everything is about brown. It's not cooked all the way. In a minute, I'm going to take it out of here. I'm going to bring it up all the way to high because I want to reduce some of this liquid from the meat. And then I'm going to take the meat out and I'm going to saute the vegetables. Then I'll put it all back together, put my sauce on, and that's done. I'll set it to the side and I'll make those potatoes. So, let's see. Okay, that's going pretty fast and we're getting lots of liquid. And yes, I will probably have to make that little thickening agent because,
yeah. How about Casey's creation? No salt. P.S. I'm gonna egg cut.
Okay, can't hear it. Said what?
Deborah Huckabee, she's given name suggestions for the seasoning.
Okay, and she said?
She said, how about Casey's creation? No salt. P.S. She wants a cut.
What you want? Okay, I ain't named it. Then what you say? This supposed to be a donation because of the love. Okay, you said call later for that. Okay, so let me take this meat and scoop it out of here. Okay, and put it on the plate. Okay, get all that out of there. Now let y'all see the color it needs to look like. It's not all the way there, and that's good. Let me turn it down. So I'm turning it down to a medium high so I can get my veggies in there. I want some of this sauce, this liquid out the bottom to dissipate, to reduce. I don't want a whole lot of liquid because I don't want to boil my vegetables. I mean, I can steam them a little, but yeah, definitely we got to cut this smaller. But this stuff is huge. Get it all out of here. Okay. And you can do this in a skillet, y'all. You got to do it like this. I'm just feeling the waft here.
Deborah said, hey, she got to try.
Huh?
Deborah said, hey, she got to try.
She got to try what?
I guess to try to get her cut in.
You got to try to get your cut in?
Yeah.
Hey, I hear you. Okay, so we're going to sit that over here to the side. All right, let me turn this down some, but it's reduced. As fast as I took that meat out, it started acting funny. So I'm going to put the peppers in first, y'all, because they're going to take the longer time, to cook.
Cosmic King says, Kay's Spice Symphony.
Who?
Kay's Spice Symphony.
I can't hear you.
I'm not even listening to this.
And when you got this thing on, you can't really hear what you guys saying. So I got my veggies in here, and I'm gonna hit these veggies with a little bit of seasoning, just because. Okay, I'm wiping this stuff down. And I think I'm going to put a little bit of the teriyaki sauce on here. The marinade. It's not really a sauce. Teriyaki marinade. Okay? I'm not going to be, I don't think I'm using it as chicken broth. I'm telling y'all. And I don't think I'm going to use the ghee. What else I want to put on here? Because the sauce is going to do a lot. Let me stir this up. Because remember I put the black pepper in there? I may put a little bit of, I just can't resist. This stuff is so good. I'm putting Casey's blessing on the vegetables. Okay. Get that over there. Get this pepper off of my counter. Now you just take your little stir fry thing. Wait a minute. Can y'all see? No, you can't. Okay, there you go. All right. So I'm going to take this and just stir it around. And you just want to wilt your vegetables. Now, if I wanted to, I could just put the top on it that comes with it and let it wilt. But I'm going to do that stir fry thing. Yes, I am. Okay. And that's going to cook a little. And I'm going to show y'all what the meat looks like. This is how it should look. It's not quite all the way before you re-enter it into your vegetables, okay? We get that like that out of the way. Okay, and I'm going to stir some more. I don't want them too al dente, but I don't want them to lose their texture. Because I'll be eating this without any side. So my side is going to be the vegetables. And that is why I seasoned it. Okay, keep going. There you are. So I'm just waiting for this to do its little thing. Like that. All right. Try to clean this off again. And push that back.
Cosmic King has said that the name of your spice could be K's Spice Symphony because you sing and the idea.
Okay, remember, whatever I do, I got to put it on a label. So it can't be for so long. Because the more letters that you put on your label, the more it costs for the label. So think about that. Think about being cost effective, y'all. Be creative and cost effective. Because I'm no corporation. I'm no conglomerate just yet. Okay, I want these to get as close to soft as possible before I put the meat in there. Because I don't want the meat to do what? Get tough like a broken relationship. And then we have to try to chew it soft. That's not doing it. So how do you find peace and growth after you split? Do you say, I'm never going to talk to them ever again? I don't want to see their faces ever again in life. Or do you go into your respective areas, whatever that may be, and you be like grown-ups and you finally have a conversation, and you think about self-respect and things like that. Ending doesn't have to be an ugly situation. It's what you want it to be. Now, some things, some endings need to be, done, don't want to see you no more. You are dangerous to my well-being, whether it is emotional or physical or whatever. But then some of them, depending on the reason for the split, you can come together and you can communicate, especially if you have children, because that's important. Let me check this. Okay. So the fact that it's getting kind of brown means that I need to take my meat and get my meat up in here. So I'm putting the meat back in, y'all. Putting in the meat and the juices. And now I'm going to flip the vegetables over so it can incorporate with the beef. And the vegetables are like, where's the beef? Get it all down on the sides. And then I want to take it up a notch because when I put the beef in, it had a little bit of liquid in it. So it slows down the stir fry process. It made heat kind of get a little bit cooler. And that's what I don't want. Okay, so I got this. Let me tidy up a little bit, throw this pan away, this plate away, y'all. And then I am going to put the sauce in and let it simmer for just a minute or so. Okay. And then I'll see whether or not I'm going to need a thickener, because I may not. But if I do, I'm ready. Got my thickener hat going. Okay, put that over here. Like that. Okay. All right, let me get my sauce and pour that on here. All right. That's kind of thick, y'all. I may put a little bit of the beef broth in here because it's a little thick. And I want it to spread. So I'm going to put, quarter cup of the beef broth to loosen it up a little bit so it can look like this and it can kind of spread on. Okay, there you go. So it can spread on my beef here. Okay. So I'm going to stick this in the middle. I'm going to get all of that out of there, just like that. Okay, take that like that. I'm going to use that. All right, so now this is all puddled in the middle. So this is what you do. Everything with this wok thing is a flipping over motion. So you can get it incorporated, and so every piece of what you have in here is kissed. Okay, so you want all your meat to be kissed by the loveliness of the sauce. I know one thing, I'm gonna have a big muscle in this arm, y'all. This steak is ooh, child. I'm here to tell you. This arm won't be broken like that relationship in a minute. Okay. So we're gonna get that like that. That looks good. I think everything has been kissed with the sauce of love. Yep. I think that's good. It looks good. I know that. Okay, so I'm gonna get it all straight down here. And then I'm gonna turn it down. I'm gonna put the top on it so I can do these potatoes. And I'm gonna turn it down some. Okay, so let's get this down. I'm gonna turn it down to 2. I just want it to simmer a little. I do not want it to overcook. So let me get this in here. And I don't think I'm going to use my thickening agent, which is even greater because I can take my nice little flour mixture and I can put it back in my flour and save that for another time because, like I said, eating healthy is expensive. I'm here to tell you. But it'll be worth it in the long run because that'll keep you here a little longer. So let's see what they say. So, we're going to do our little hack with our potatoes. Okay, so they want 4 cups of boiling water. Do I want 4 cups of boiling water? Or, hey, let me see. I'm going to use 4 cups of beef broth. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to Casey-ize this. Where's my cup? All right, can't find the cup. Okay, so we're going to bring this down, and I'm going to put that on low. And here's the cup. Freshly washed. Still hot. Okay. And I'm going to do the beef broth in here. I'm going to do 4 of these cups. I'm going to do it with the beef broth. So we're going to have these potatoes be nicely seasoned. So that's 1. That's 2. That's 3. And that's 4. You know what? I want to see if I can squeeze just a teeny tiny weeny bit of that garlic. I think I see a little bit in here. So I'm going to take the top off, right? Because this is going to give it a nice flavor. I'm going to do it like this. And then this will be probably about a teaspoonful. Put that in here. Okay. And I am going to get some regular butter. I'm not going to use ghee, because why use my ghee when I don't have tea? When I don't have tea. So y'all to get that. I don't have to use my ghee. Okay, I am going to put some Casey's Blessing in here, because I put Casey's Blessing in everything. Even when it's not called Casey's Blessing anymore. How about that?
Oh, Deborah said, I would say, I wish you well. Take care of yourself. I'm gracefully walking away. I'm done.
Okay. Oh, are you telling me goodbye for the night, or you just comment?
I think you're talking about
how. Okay. I was like, okay, bye.
The relationship thing.
Oh, I hear you. And like I said, everybody's gonna handle it the way they handle it. You know what I'm saying? It depends on the reason why you're saying goodbye. You know, and some people are mature enough to have an ongoing relationship even after the romance is gone. And if you have children, that's a good thing, because you want to have some kind of amicable separation for your kids. Because you divorced or you left the spouse or the partner. You ain't supposed to be leaving the kids too. And it makes it easier for you to have a relationship with your kids if the grown-ups play well and the play playing together. So I'm going to use some regular butter. I'm not using my ghee, because why use that? I don't have to do that. It doesn't have to be clarified for this. So I'm going to take a nice little hunk of my butter, and this is, probably like this to start, because I probably will add some more to my potatoes when I get in here. Okay, so we get that over there. This needs to go in the trash, because it is done, like that broken relationship. Done. Like what Miss Huckabee said. So I'm waiting for that to boil. Let me turn this noise off. Okay. So this is like just kind of like just sitting there, just kind of keeping warm, minding its own business, you know, sitting at the dock of the bay. See, look how fast. I love these pots because they heat up really quickly. I'm going to open that like that. All right. And that way I can pour this stuff out. Okay. Do not make a mess. Will you stand? Yeah. See, look at that. They said, okay, fine. I'm a fall the other side. I want to fall the other way. Okay. So let me put this here, that there. I will probably need a pinch of sodium salt, and I'm going to do some white pepper in this, because I just think white pepper will be good in this. Okay. So, hey, beautiful sister, you want to do me a favor?
Yeah.
Can you get those chives out of there and cut some up so I can have them put on here?
Sure.
And while you add it, taste this beef. Okay, so put that in there. And I need a wooden spoon or something, which is not in here. Okay, so it must be in here.
What are you looking for?
A wooden spoon.
Wait.
Okay, that's a spatula. Okay, got to get in. Now, the key to these instant potatoes is when it starts to percolate like that, I'm going to turn it down, because this is about to boil over, because this pan gets really, really hot. So at this point, I am going to turn it off, because it's at a rapid boil. I'm going to take these potatoes and I'm going to slowly stir them in. This is how you keep them from becoming a bunch of lumps. You stir it in slowly so you see how much you need. Okay, let me get you out the way. Okay. There you go. Get you out the way. And you put them in, and you see how much you need. Now, see, I know I'm going to need all of these because there's a lot of liquid in here. And so I'm going to pour the rest of them in. And then I'm going to fold it over. Let's get this out the way because I don't want to make a mess.
Oh,
Are you what?
never mind.
Okay. And you just fold it over just like that, and you stir them in. Yeah, I would have preferred to have a spoon, but this ain't working all that well. But you know what? It's gonna be what it's gonna be at this point. Okay. So now these potatoes are a little brown, almost like it has a gravy because it had that broth, that beef broth, and that beef broth is pretty strong colored, you know. So hey, we gonna see what this gonna be like. I just thought I'd try the beef broth. Usually I'll put some chicken broth in there, you know, that's a little lighter, but we're doing steak, so I figured, hey, why not try this? Okay, let me put some white pepper on there and turn those over. Make sure that, okay, that is where I need it to be. And all of my little friends in here are wet and dissolving. I'm going to take a little bit of heavy whipping cream. And this is not open. The other one's open. Okay, let me get the one that's open. Taking a bit of heavy whipping cream. Yes, I am. And I'm going to put a little in here. Just a little, a quarter cup of the heavy whipping cream. This just makes it taste good. Okay, there you go. Just like that. And if it's a little stiff, it helps loosen your potatoes. Okay, that's all. Just so you get that all incorporated in there. Yep, just like that. Okay. Let's get that all in there. Okay. Just flip it over. And that's good. Okay, I got that like this. I probably won't even have to have, I said the chives. I have little chives in me, little skinny chives. Not green onions, chives, but we can use those too. But yeah, chives. They're in an herb container. And you pass me the cheese too. Pepper, y'all. Y'all know I had to sneeze. I guess you was waiting on it. You're waiting on it? Okay. So I got this because we're going to make this like a little loaded. So we're going to put some cheese on this and some nice chives. And then we're going to plate this puppy up, okay? Let me just rinse that off. Get it all nice and clean so when I get ready to spoon it up, there's no extra residue on here. Okay, today we're going to use a little bit of this mild cheddar cheese, but you can use whatever kind of cheese you want. I even have some goat cheese in there, and I will probably try that in here, but I don't want to subject everybody to the goat cheese because, you know, that's not something that we usually eat, and I said I wanted to try it, but that doesn't mean that everyone wants to try it, so I'm not going to make them. You need these scissors?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to force anything on anyone. At least not in front of y'all. Okay. Okay. So let me get this, wipe this down. All right. And I'm going to come over here, finish up my little soliloquy, and then I'm going to plate these puppies up. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so we have the cheese, so we can make our potatoes. All right, so let me throw that away. Boy, that sneezing really got to me. That cleared those sinuses right on up, didn't it? All right, let me get in here and check my beef. Oh, yeah, I didn't need any thickener. This is good. Did you taste the beef?
Oh, I haven't.
Okay, let's get some plates so I can plate that up. moment, y'all. We put that over here. Okay, and that fell. All right.
Boy, this didn't make much at all.
Mm-hmm. Well, enough.
Cut up all of that?
Yeah, you can. So they're kind of small. You know, she's over here cutting up chives, and she's saying that didn't make much at all. I said, yeah, you're right. Chives don't really, they're kind of small. Chives are small. That's different than the green onion. Chives are like little skinny. They almost look like grass. Okay, so let's get these plates out here. Just like that. All right, get my cream back in the refrigerator. And get that nice, just like that. And as you notice, I have 3 plates because they're having potatoes. I'm just going to have a little bit of the meat. I'm not really that hungry. You know, it's like when you do this stuff all day long, you just kind of get all fooded out. At least I do. But there's always later. Okay, so let me get up in this chair. And we're going to finish up our little talky talk. So, like I said, so I got questions for you guys. And be honest, have you ever felt trapped in a relationship? Do you feel like you were in relationship limbo, just kind of hanging in it? You know where you're going. And if you haven't, that's good too. Okay, maybe you knew somebody. Okay, and what was the final push to make you, you know, say it's quits, to take that step, or be the first to say goodbye? What do you think? I'm going to drink some of this and wait for some input. What you say, Deb? You said keep it simple. What am I keeping simple? I guess you're saying keep it short and sweet. Is that what you're saying? Okay, that is funny. You are funny. Let's see. This fruit looks good. Okay. Ooh. A little tangy. What
the fruit is?
Okay. So I'll ask my studio audience because it ain't that much of a delay. Y'all just ain't trying to talk to me. So I said, have you ever felt trapped or in limbo in a relationship at any time? And what was the final push for you to kind of just let it go? Oh, you're saying know my label. You said keep it simple. Just put Casey up there. Simple like, well, that's what I'm trying to do because you pay per letter. So how about this? Just say,
Casey.
No, just say, yum. Or yum. How about that? We're going to call this yum. That'd be cheap to do for sure. Okay, my studio audience ain't I can't nobody want to answer my question.
No, okay, well, I was gonna answer the question. You got off topic. I wouldn't say that I was in a relationship where I felt like I wanted to break up with them, but I've known people who were in situations like that. A lot of it is like not wanting to hurt their friend's feeling. Like they may be not like emotionally connected to them in that way anymore, but they still care for them as a person and may want to still maintain some sort of relationship with them and not know how to do that without, hurting them.
Hey, send them a letter. Go to you. You move to the.
That doesn't make them absorb the punch any.
No, but send them a letter.
I was going to say, like, in a situation that I was in, where I was in a relationship with someone that I didn't see progressing, I simply had to look at the situation for what it was and simply say, I value myself more than this situation and I want to grow. So if my partner doesn't want to grow or see me grow or want to grow with me, then it's time for me to detach myself from that individual so I can kind of, allow them to be them, but allow myself to grow is like, within that, same idea.
What you say, Deborah, Oh, that was the other stuff. So Corey was saying that he was in a relationship. I don't know if you can hear him because he's kind of stuffy. But he said he was in a prior relationship and he just kind of let it go because he didn't see the relationship progressing in a direction that he wanted it to go. And so he thought it would be best for him to, it was kind of like it's counterproductive to stay in this place for both him and for the person. So do you still talk to this person or not?
This person and I, we no longer communicate now.
Okay, so I guess somebody didn't like that dynamic, and they no longer communicate. I don't know which one. I got one side of the story. Whoever you are, hit me up. Tell me the truth. Tell me what really happened. I'm joking, So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay. Sometimes you can fix it, sometimes you can't. But the bottom line is, I keep saying this, it takes two. It takes two. It's just like the Double Mint twins. You probably don't know about that commercial either because that came out a long time. It takes two. What's it? Two? Was it two kisses in one or two something in one? But you had to have two. So in order to make a decision to keep the relationship, work on it, try to move on from whatever the hurt or the pain or whatever. What you say? You know what, Deb? You's a rough chick. That's all I got to say. Because you like, hey, you absolutely, positively keep on moving. Hey, you subscribe to Soul, right? I hear you. But like I said, if you ever get the chance to listen to the song, Neither One of Us, yeah. And that's what you need to do, my sister. Listen to the song. I'm going to plate this stuff up, put a little bit of cheese on here and some on those potatoes and some chives, and let them taste it. Yeah, them. All right. So first I'm going to put the potatoes on. Let's see. So let me use this. Okay, put the potatoes on. They should be nice and flavored.
I don't know, I guess in my head I think about, like, is there really a way to determine, like, there's really no set, standard or way to know when it's time to say goodbye, other than you just know when you've reached your limit.
Yeah, like I said, it's an individual thing. Sometimes you're forced into it, because, hey, the partner says, and then sometimes
it's mutual.
It's mutual. And sometimes they say goodbye already and they're sitting there right in your face.
Yeah.
So, like I said, a lot of this stuff is all about the person, or the people. It really is. It's not a cookie cutter situation. It's about the people and how they choose, to handle whatever their situation is. And that's why I say you can, try to guide people and tell them things. But for me, certain things, I don't think that anyone is qualified to tell somebody to do or not to do, for the mere fact that it is about your level, your sensibility when you are ready. If you ain't ready, you just ain't ready. And I don't care how many times somebody tells you whatever the situation is. If it's, it could be a abusive situation, it could be anything. But until you're ready, it doesn't matter what someone else says. It really doesn't. So I'm going to put a little cheese on that one. Put a little cheese on that one. And a little cheese on that one. Okay. And stick some of this chives on it. That's in there. Okay. And then I'm going to run it in the microwave so the cheese can melt a little. How about that? Get some more onion on there. Oh, I got onion everywhere. Okay, so Let me stick this in here. Let it melt a little bit. Then we can see what this is like. It's interesting, to say the least. I've never done the mashed potatoes with the beef broth before, but I figure, hey, beef gravy, beef broth, hey, should taste okay. We're going to find out. Okay. And it melted a little. So we're going to take this off because this is nice and warm. And let's see how we're going to plate this puppy up. Yeah, I like that's going to be nice. That's going to taste pretty good. No big old pieces of meat here. Let me try to be neat, y'all. But I'm going to try to kind of like put this on the side, the meat over here. I hope I'm not giving too much meat. But we got a lot of it. Put that over there. Just like that. Clean that plate up. Get the next one in. You call your father.
Okay.
Okay, let's get the next one in. Start that. Corey. Okay, you're the first victim. Okay. You're the first victim.
I don't know if I like the sound of that.
Okay, well, hey. Okay. Come on, get your hot peas and butter. Come on, get your supper. Okay, y'all, so, woo, this is what it looks like when it's done. What do you think? That's your nice, your ribeye steak. Can you see it? I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So what do you guys think? This is, except for this part right here, you know, the potatoes. But if you're trying to eat good and eat right, there you go. Let me take this out. Okay. It's hot, y'all, so Corey gonna tell you.
Just give me a moment, y'all.
I'm just gonna put a little bit here for her. Because then she'll be telling me, you gave me too much.
The meat is so tender, it's juicy. And the flavor just pops.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Corey says the meat is tender, and that's half the battle when you are doing steak. Getting that meat to be tender. Let me put hubby's inside here. Beautiful assistance is ready. We put that over there. Okay. He's disappearing on y'all, but he says he likes it. He says it's delicious. So I'm just nuking this a little, melting it. He's over there doing that curl your toes happy dance, y'all.
It's good. What can I say?
And there you have it. So, let me see. Here's beautiful assistant, because her food is going to get cold. And I just want to make sure this is warm enough because it takes these folks a minute or two to come and get their food. Your food, come get it. Okay, there it is over there. I'm waiting for your father.
Right here?
It's right there.
No, I'm saying down here.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Ooh, that feels so cold then.
I don't know. I'm gonna get this on the plate for you. Okay.
Those drinks look fantastic.
Yep. Beautiful assistant have to get you one.
Okay,
We didn't want it to melt.
Yeah.
The ice. Okay. Oh, again, see his plate. There you go.
Yeah.
What's your glasses?
There you go. Take your fork.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, the meat is very tender off the bat. It took no effort to break it apart.
None at all.
I'm gonna give me a little paper plate because I'm not eating all that.
Oh, that's hot. Whoa.
Take a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Oh, it's messy.
So what do you think, beautiful assistant?
I'm blowing it so I don't burn myself.
Okay.
Don't hurt myself. I'm trying.
That is savory. And you're right.
That meat goes very well together with the mashed potatoes and all the flavors that are in there. The potatoes are very creamy. They do not taste like instant mashed potatoes at all.
That was that.
Yep, instant mash. They sure are.
These are delicious. The meat is very tender, very juicy, as I say often because it usually is. It's very, very delicious.
Idaho potatoes, fire.
Quick, fast, in a hurry, yeah. And I made them with, what do you think about the being made with the beef broth?
Yeah, I was about to say, it tastes excellent. The flavor of the beef broth really complements the meat.
Right, and that's what I was thinking. That's
Yeah,
what I
this
was
is
thinking.
delicious. Delicious. As if I doubted. I had never had any doubt that it would be delicious.
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to taste a piece of the meat, y'all, because that's what I'm having. Let's see. Let's find out. Well, my fork went through it real easy. Let's blow it because I don't want to get the burned mouth on national television.
Yeah, that's what I was trying not to. Very, very
That steak is really, really good.
I'm telling you, it was hard to stir because it was heavy. But using the ribeye, it's not dry. It's cooked well. It's moist. It's tender. It's flavorful. It's really good. And then when you get a little bit of the peppers in there too, delicious. Anyhow, there you have it. Like I said, at the end of the day, pepper steak is revealed. Not overdone. Good recipe. Have the same dynamic with your relationship. You may be able to repair it. You may not be able to. But at the end of the day, in the famous words of my Miss Huckabee, okay, the heart does what the heart does.
Amen.
So that's what we're going to say. We're going to leave it at that. I hope that you enjoyed this live stream with our little relationship dynamic and our lovely, lovely pepper steak. Oh, baby. Honey, leftovers and some eggs. That's all I can tell you. That's going to be just yum, yum, yummy, yum, yum, yum. And like I said, if you liked it, hey, you know you hit that like button. All you guys out there who didn't say anything in the chat, if you rewatch it like this, please like it. Like it if you like it. If you like it, yes. Okay. For all of my already subscribed family, hey, turn your notification bells on so you know when I'm coming at you. Because I tell you, some things are going to happen because I'm a real girl now. And for those of you who are not yet subscribed, hey, what you waiting for? Subscribe, subscribe, and subscribe. And as always, you know what I wish you. I wish you some love in your life, whether it's with a partner, a family member, or just yourself. And I hope that you find your rhythm and dance. I'm going to see y'all next week. I don't know what I'm going to come up with next week, but you know I will come up with something. And no, Pamela, I'm not. Oh, gosh. What she says, she said, sing the song, It Takes Two of Us. What song is that? No, she didn't say just the two of us. She said it takes two of us. What is that? You got to explain that before I say goodbye. Okay, because I don't know what that means. But anyway, I'll do this for you. God, you know, I tell you, I'm gonna call you. I'll do that. It's like I'm not gonna do this. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna give you 2-3 words. I probably can't even do it. It's sad to think. We're gonna close with the song. We're not gonna make it. That's what promoted the song. This is the show. And it's gotten to the point where we just can't fake it. Ooh, for some ungodly reason, we just won't let it die.
Sing it, darling.
I guess neither one of us wants to be the first to say goodbye. And that is the end of this show. I'll see y'all next week. Yes, I will.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a good one.